jewelry is for women and women is for jewelry. If you can talk more about that and why is that? Back in the day, jewelry stood out with the bigger the diamond, more the money. But these days, as you mentioned, lab grown diamond coming in the picture, you can just put it in the oven, get a 50 carat diamond, and have a big diamond. How does a woman in jewelry stand out, but not in terms of size?
I think that man-made lab-grown diamonds will still exist, but yes, designs today will has taken the center stage for sure.
Fair.
Europe and America, definitely they will not. For them, jewelry still is a piece of art.
Have you collaborated or worked with any Bollywood celebs before?
Where did you come from today to BKC? Where have you been traveling?
I have been not traveling anywhere. I think that I was very much in my spiritual world for Ganpati. And because for me, that as a designer and a creative person, I think that you do require your me time. And I think that me time is for me is my devotion to my Lord. So I think that that
That's
gives me a
amazing.
lot of peace. And then I come with new, fresh ideas every time.
Actually, Bappa is the reason me and Varuna is connected in this podcast today because she mistook me for someone that did not come to her Bappa's
Yeah. I
visit at her
remember.
house.
Yeah. And I said, oh God, you didn't come. Every time I call you, you don't come. And I said, oh no, I'm not that person. You're mistaken me. I said, oh, fine.
And I
But
was
that's, I think.
and I was actually quite taken aback because I go to everyone's house for Bappa is something which I'm really heart connected to, and I love to. That is my one of the favorite celebration. I was like, I didn't see her invite. I didn't know I was supposed to go.
Sorry for that. I mistook you for something else.
Yeah. So next time, I hope
But
you get the invite.
yeah. But I promise you next time you'll get my invite.
On devotion, because I think you touched a very important topic of spirituality, devotion, and how does spirituality and devotion come into jewelry design pattern? What's the is there any relation that you see?
No, I don't. I don't feel that I connect devotion to jewelry. I don't think. I think for every person there is a different way of meditation. Some people for them meditation has different meaning, but I think for a creative person like me, meditation is actually going to the Lord, because that to me I'm so. I think that from childhood, because my family has been very religious, and I think that I always say that religion comes out of fear and spirituality comes out of experience.
That's true.
So I think that I have gone to a lot of curve of life after the age of 40, and I think a lot of things happen for my upliftment. And I think that I have evolved as a human being. And I think spirituality is something that has taken me through my entire journey. And to me, the reason for any creative person to create innovative things or wonderful things, they require that peace of mind. And I think that my peace of mind only comes when I pray to Mataji, because I see Ganesh also in Mataji, I see Vade Guruji also in Mataji. So for me, it's just having one focus with one single idol and putting your 100% into that. So I think it just clears my mind with a clean slate for me to create something new. So I think that for me, that's
Devotion.
what is religion and spirituality all about.
Understood.
Talking about spirituality and jewelry, have you ever thought of any designs, maybe after praying to God or after being in that connect towards with God? Have you come out with some ideas ever in terms of jewelry or designing?
Yes, definitely. I think that, as I told you, that the moment your mind is at a standstill or at peace, that is a time when you can come up with miraculously different designs. And I think that, yes, after that, like after Ganpati, I just went to my sketches. And I think that what I was able to create was completely different
Okay.
from when I am in a stressful state of mind.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think that when there is so much of stress and your everyday errands that is going on, you will never be able to create.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That's why people usually who are writers or creative people go away from this hustling Mumbai and go to some hill station or something when they want to either write a book or they want to create something new.
Nice.
So I think that it's important to get into that peaceful world. And yes, definitely after Ganpati, I came up with very innovative ideas. And another place where I really come up with innovative ideas when I go to America, because 18 hours I have no distractions.
yeah.
I'm just all on my own. My
Self,
mind
yeah.
is, and I think that flying
Yeah.
time gives me that.
Yeah.
Continuing this conversation, creative block is really common between artists. Have you ever faced these creative blocks, and how did you overcome these in situations or get out of it?
So I think yes, definitely creative blocks always come. Like sometimes you feel that you have stretched yourself so much that you can't create anything more. You just become like it's completely blank. And I have realized over a period of time that rather than fighting it, you need to let go of things.
Yeah.
Just never mind. Don't have the fear that, oh my God, now I will no longer be existing. I'm not able to create something new. Because if you are passionate about what you do and you do it with a lot of honesty and you keep learning every single day and not feeling that, okay, fine, I don't need to learn, you will never ever go out of it. You will continuously try to create, adapt, evolve, and keep recreating newer and fresher ideas.
Yeah.
So I think that it's very important that you understand who you are, what is your purpose of this life, and what you need to do.
That's definitely a process. But in technical terms, if there is quick way to clear your mind, if you have practiced maybe breathing or something like that, can you give a tips to get your creative block in some technical ways, if you have any?
Meditation for sure. Um, food, right food,
Nice.
Yeah.
very
That is
important,
very important.
because the moment your food is not right, your mind can never work right.
Yeah.
And proper sleep. I mean, these are the very
Basic, yeah.
layman's language.
Yeah.
That is
This
true.
is the only three things actually which can keep you going.
That is true.
So
Yeah.
I feel that, and yes, most important, work as if it's. We always say, pray. As if everything.
Yeah.
Work as if everything depends on you.
Yeah.
But pray.
Yeah.
Everything depends on God. I think there has to be a balance of both,
That's true.
and faith
It's something you
and
cannot
in
say.
yourself. I think belief in yourself and faith in God
Yeah.
is the formula to anything.
Let's now probably change the segment and talk more about your journey in
Correct.
jewelry.
Yeah.
When did you start? How did you start? And you were telling about your time in Dubai as well.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. You were born in a family of
Yeah.
or in a jeweler's family. Um, how was it being born in a family where you would see jewelry every day, and then what happened after that?
So, I mean, I still remember when I was 8 years of age, and I used to accompany my father to Zabari Bazaar, his showroom in the summer vacations, and how we would keep on just putting the jewelry in the locker and removing, because daddy would give us that. And then we used to play with the weighing scale. Instead of putting jewelry, we would put lemon. And because daddy would not allow us to do the jewelry. And then daddy would, if there were a lot of customers, then we used to see that we used to stack all the boxes.
Yeah.
So, and then I remember on Sundays, daddy would get emeralds to the house, and we used to wipe the emerald with, to have that joban lagate the or something. Daddy would give us something, but chalo ye kaam kar lo.
Yeah.
So I think that to me, I was always surrounded with jewelry, and I have a very interesting story about my mom used to keep telling me that I was just 5 years of age, 5 or 6 years, and she took me to Haridwar, and I saw one wedding procession, and I saw that bride wearing a lot of jewelry, and I told my mom, मम्मी मम्मी ये कौन है? एंड मम्मी सेड बेटा ये दुल्हन है, और जब तेरी शादी होगी ना तो मैं तुझे भी मतलब इतनी सारी ज्वेलरी पहनाऊंगी. एंड आई स्टार्टेड क्राइंग, मुझे अभी शादी करनी है, मुझे अभी शादी करनी है. सो आई थिंक दैट द लव फॉर ज्वेलरी वाज ऑलवेज देयर. बट वी कम फ्रॉम वेरी कंजर्वेटिव सिंधी फैमिली, जहाँ हमें बस शादी करना है, बच्चे पैदा करना है. सो आई गॉट इंगेज एट 16 एंड
Oh, no.
got married at 18 and relocated to Dubai in 3 years. And in the first year, I already had one baby. So yes, love for jewelry was very much there, but we were never ever given that ki we need to pursue jewelry as a. And in those days, honestly, there was no such thing as usually the, in our male-dominated industry, it's still the men who are. It's now that the women are coming in the forefront.
Yeah.
So I think that we were never given that key, the push that we need to
Yeah.
get into. भैया नहीं नहीं बच्चे संभालो or like that sort of a thing.
Nice.
And I think it was when I was 40 years. So I was in Dubai for about 16 years. And in those 16 years, I used to buy a lot of jewelry.
Nice.
I used to go to the gold souk every week in the whole street, look at jewelry upside down because something was there where the love was always there with jewelry. And in 2006, I came to help my father in India. I had 3 daughters then, and for whatever reason, I came to India to help my father. And when I came to India, jewelry just came to me like it was like I think that my eye was like a camera which had captured all the images in the gold souk jewelry and everything came to me so naturally that I used to conceptualize designs and everyone started telling, oh, you all have a new designer, your designs have changed completely.
Nice.
And I felt that though I'd put my hands in many things because I was actually a creative person. I have a successful restaurant business,
Oh wow.
event planning business, still running. I gave it away all to my manager. I put my hands into clothing business. So for me, it was always about creating things that glamorize a woman. Like I used to do it with my dolls. I used to do with my aunties. I did makeup also because I loved to beautify women. So for me, it was creating jewelry that actually not like a commodity, but something that enhances the woman.
Yeah.
So I think that, and that's the time I realized, my God, this is what I'm made for. I put my hands into everything, but this is finally where I belong.
Yeah.
And I think after that, it's been now 18 years. There's never been looking back. And that's how I am there. We formed Varuna Dijani under Poplay because I used to create those 40 exclusive pieces of jewelry under the Poplay. But in the 2 years, for whatever reason, I had to part ways. And I started my own label, Varuna Dijani, at that point of time. And now I am as positioned myself as an odontologist, which I will speak to you about, because I can look at a person and suggest jewelry what works according to their personality.
We have a game for that. Which
Okay.
we will not we will not disclose now, but there is a game where you
Okay.
have to. Shan has that game, so we will talk about that as well.
Okay.
So I really want to have a bit more gist on what you spoke about. Jewelry is for women and women is for jewelry.
Correct.
If you can talk more about that and why is that?
I think that from olden age, also, if you look at jewelry, what was the actual reason or significance of jewelry? Like when we used to make shell jewelry or floral jewelry, I'm talking about
Stone Age.
the Stone Age. It was to basically make a woman look sensuous and attractive. That was the main reason behind, and to seduce the men.
Yeah.
So that was the main reason of jewelry. Later on, somewhere the status element came into such big existence that the whole essence of jewelry got lost completely. And with that, what happened is that it became completely like a commodity. Now, because of lab grown diamonds coming into existence, there is no way a woman is able, who has all the money in a bank, she's not able to stand apart.
Yeah.
Because just with status today, anybody can wear a 10 carat also.
Yeah. I'll be coming to that.
So, yeah. So then, style now plays a very important role in jewelry. So that's where designer jewelry, along with status, of course, there has to be a balance because investment is still going to be existing, status and investment. But yes, style is also very, very important element, and it is going to play a very, very important role because I always believe, in fact, I have been talking about it from 2006. At that point of time, even the international brands were not talking about jewelry as
Yeah.
enhancing the woman.
yeah.
And I always believed that we put so much of thought when it comes to clothing. You see,
That's true.
when people go to buy clothing, they think, "Arey, mujhe suit hona chahiye hai." Arey, but it is not even going to be an investment to you.
Yeah.
It's going to be worn once, maximum twice in your lifetime. But when it comes to jewelry, till today,
Lifetime, yeah.
there is no thought which has been put into it. There is no thought because it was just a display of wealth for the super rich. Okay, very few people. I say it's a very sad thing in India. जिसके पास style है पैसे नहीं, जिसके पास पैसे style नहीं है. You know, I just always, it's like very funny, but it is there. It's the truth. And what now I have realized is now people have realized that it's very important to have jewelry that complements fashion. It has to be something that suits you, where you need to be the showstopper of the evening. The bride needs to be the showstopper, not just a jewelry.
Yeah.
You know, the moment you do the lavish wedding, everybody knows that you have a huge bank balance with you. So I think that it's very, very important that both jewelry and fashion need to complement one another. Jewelry needs to be something that helps the woman to become even more attractive, enhance her beauty. So I think that people have understood that, and I do see a lot of changes now, especially with the younger generation, because I think to them style holds a lot of importance with the global exposure. They have also realized how important it is, you know, to have your own individualistic style, because that's what makes you stand apart.
And that's true. Back in the day, jewelry stood out with the bigger the diamond, more the money. But these days, as you mentioned, lab grown diamond coming in the picture, you can just put it in the oven, get a 50 carat diamond, and have a big diamond. How does a woman in jewelry stand out, but not in terms of size?
That's where I told you that just taking a solitaire but not having the right artistic direction to create something which was missing now begins to play a very important element.
Yeah.
So that's why the design has become equally important to just having a solitaire. So if someone buys today a 10 carat, but it is created by a designer who is able to get the right aesthetics, the right balance, and some innovation into the design, automatically the woman will stand apart.
Yeah.
So I think that man-made lab-grown diamonds will still exist. But yes, designs today will has taken the center stage for sure.
So let's play that game where
Yeah.
we. So we'll have two celebs or two actors. We'll have two actors on the page, and what we would love for you is to say which one's design and jewelry you like the most,
Okay.
and then why. What attracted you of what the person is wearing,
Okay. Perfect.
and if you had to change certain things about this, what would you change?
Okay.
Let me just ask a question before that. Have you collaborated or worked or with any Bollywood celebs before?
I have given to stylists for a number of Bollywood stars. Uh, Again, but the stylist takes
The cake.
the center stage because she decides what they want.
Okay.
Maybe I would not agree to some of them,
Okay.
but obviously stylist
It's what they
there's-
perceive about-
because today an Adonis has not yet taken the center stage.
Yeah.
So the stylist still decides as to what the jewelry should be there.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yes, but yes, I have given, and sometimes of course they have done excellent. The stylists have really done better. I think equally good or better sometimes. You know, sometimes you may imagine because they are working with that woman every single day.
Yeah.
So obviously they would even understand them much more than just a personality.
Yeah.
So yes, of course they have done 100% justice also. So I think that, and it's always subjective, right?
That's true. Jewelry is the way you express yourself.
Correct.
So
That's
the way it comes to you.
and what's your mood that day?
Yeah, that's true. I felt yellow. I felt a bit yellow today.
So let's go with two patterns. One is in from a bridal one, and the other one is a slightly minimalistic. So you can do the second one.
Yeah.
So this is Pariniti and Kiara
Can give
Advani.
her the-
Yeah.
Which one did you think? This or that?
Kiara, no, not at all. Because Kiara to me is not a neoclassic woman. So she can't wear something which is a neoclassic. Neoclassic is more Indianness.
Okay.
She is more somewhere a switch between a contemporary woman like a Katrina Kaif and a Deepika. She comes somewhere between a contemporary and a contemporary woman.
Nice.
So her jewelry definitely cannot be in this angle. So I don't feel she's worn it right. Pariniti goes more to the neoclassic. So her jewelry, which is neoclassic, and she has been very clever enough to not wear a choker because it's better downward movement for Pariniti because she's a little broader shoulder than
Yeah.
Kiara. So definitely, Pariniti has done a better this for because it's matching her personality.
That's true.
Being very clever to see that the focus is not
On the
going
jewelry and
in
on
the
her.
in the wrong place.
Yeah.
With Kiara, she can never wear something stiff. She has to wear a contemporary has to wear something which is soft. And Kiara's necklace is very harsh.
Okay.
Her elements should have been softer. Even if it's a choker, it should have been something which hinges, which is softer, smaller elements, not bulky elements, because her personality is still soft. So she
Nice.
can't take something which is having a little of bulk.
That was
So
amazing.
definitely this, the color stone absolutely not matching. Her color tone is more on the bluish, more on sapphires, and emeralds would be the second. I would never ever give her a ruby light. Because ruby light will not work on her. She can't take. It has to look absolutely precious, and not a semi-precious stone on Kiara ever. Instead of jhumkas, even if she would have taken tops, huge oval tops, it would have been better than going in for the
Nice.
jhumkas because it is clashing so much with the neck piece. There has to be a distance of 2 inches between a neck piece and a jewelry and a earring, which is absolutely missing here. So a lot of things.
Love
So
this.
definitely Pariniti.
Pariniti, what would you have suggested her to elevate the design?
In Pariniti,
Yes.
honestly, with Pariniti, I would not do anything much patterns on her. It won't work because, as I told you, neoclassic people cannot take too much of designs.
Yeah.
That's why if you see Neeta Ambani is also neoclassic. She can't take
Nice.
too much of designs.
Yeah.
So she knows exactly. So
Nice.
I think that Pariniti has gone very safe and it's good because if your personality cannot take too much, I mean, you can't all of a sudden put a big gemstone on her and all. It just won't work,
Yeah.
you know. And she knows how to soft. I think that stylist has done an amazing job with Pariniti. here.
Okay.
Nice.
For the audience, you mentioned two words.
So
which,
we'll come to that.
Okay, you want to wait?
I
for-
have that question online.
Okay.
Zara-
You want to ask the next one?
No, before that, I want to get into that. You mentioned a lot of words which were bouncer for me and a lot of the viewers. Let's simplify it for the people. Buying jewelry has 5 types of people or personalities,
Yeah.
which you were mentioning right now.
Yeah.
Can you simplify it to people out there who are watching this and how they can understand what personality is? By again, maybe you can compare it to a celeb.
So first of all, I want to make people understand that jewelry is not just an art form. There's a science to adorning jewelry. That's very important. When I mean science, I mean to say understanding various facets before buying jewelry. So earlier people would buy fashion. But the stylist when came into existence made people realize you can't just buy fashion. You need to buy fashion according to your personality, according the color should match whether you are an autumn or you are a spring or your what personality. You have to buy clothes which accentuate your assets and takes eye away from which are your weakness area. Similarly to that, I have actually created an entire science on enhancing jewelry and I call myself an adornologist and registered as the only adornologist in the world. So similar to what a stylist does when they recommend fashion is what I do when I recommend jewelry.
Nice.
To simplify this, I would say that I have created 5 different personas and personalities with jewelry. The first personality is the neoclassic woman. This is the classic woman with little Indianness in her features because we finally are Indian. So, but this woman is a classic with a little Indianness. I would put Madhuri Dixit, Neeta Ambani in this category. These are the classic shapes and all. They can't carry too much of designs. So your solitaire strings, your line jewelry, and which don't have much design is something which they would look amazing in. My second personality is the contemporary woman. She is the modern classic, a woman who loves classic with a little twist. When I mean twist is either through movement of jewelry, either to a little bit of dimensions. So the perfect personality here would be Katrina Kaif. Now, Katrina Kaif would never look good in the neoclassic type of a jewelry, but she would still look good in, like for her, her jhumkas would still have a small briolets in the jhumkas, you see, and not very big stones.
Yeah.
Or let's say even her strings, her solitaire string would still have an element of a playfulness in her jewelry is very, very important when it comes to a contemporary personality like Katrina Kaif. My third personality is a contemporary woman like a Deepika, who is very, very aware of global trends and want to ape the global. And she will never wear too much over the top because she's still very refined in her taste and wants to be personified as that international global woman. She would take designs, but something which is more branded, and if has on that category, then she's happy with it. But it's not that she would try something completely out of the box. My fourth personality is an avant-garde woman. I categorize myself, Sushmita Sen, all of us in this category. We are the ones who would wear a little designer, dramatic jewelry because we want to be the showstopper of the evening wherever we go,
Nice.
you know. And we love innovations and designs, and we are the perfect examples of carrying statement pieces which are conversation starters. The fifth personality is a naturalist who is like a Shabana Azmi or a Kiran Kher. They are the people who can take the big gemstones because they have that authoritative personality, a little bit bohemian,
Yeah.
and they will look amazing in stone jewelry which has huge stone. Like they would never look good in solitaire strings. They would not look good in delicate, dainty things because it just has to be something which completes their personality and
Nice.
cannot, because they have a very strong personality. So even if they would wear bangles or kadas, they would be either huge kadas or stacks of bangles.
Or a heart fool.
No, heart fool would again go to personality. Heart fool again, if it is very delicate, it could even be worn by a Katrina Kaif personality in diamond if it is delicate. If it is dramatic, it can be worn like a Yeprin can be worn by a Varuna Jani. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a heart fool, if it's done in the traditional Indian manner, could even be worn by the youngsters of the neoclassic.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I think that most of the people fall in these 5 categories, but some people are cusp, like how we are in science, we have cusp, right? So they would fall between a contemporary and a contemporary, but never be a jump. Like they would not be someone who will go from a neoclassic to an avant-garde.
Yeah.
So it could be between the two, but it would not just go. So I think that simplifies the personality angle. Again, you need to buy stones which matches your skin tone
Okay.
because your skin, it has to complement your complexion. So a lot of people say, "अरे मेरा आज red dress है तो मुझे red stone ही पहनना." I mean, they just feel that. That's not true. You could either contrast it to something that actually suits your, suits your skin tone. Because finally, what is the sense of wearing a stone, a sapphire or a ruby which does not complement your skin?
Yes.
So that's very important. Again, we need to also see that we play a lot of importance in the balance and proportions of our body. So someone who is little heavy on a jawline should stay away from chokers, should go in the downward movement.
Nice.
Someone who's short needs to look tall, so she needs to go downwards in a movement.
Nice.
Someone who is having, her wrist is broad, she should stay away from broad kadas. So basically, it's very important. And most important is earrings. That's why I never sell my necklaces with earrings, because a earring can make or break a look, I believe.
Let me ask you that, okay?
Yeah.
So as you said, earrings can make and break the look of women.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
I'll explain to you. What does earring do to a face? It's like, imagine you buy a picture and you put it in a frame which is not right for the picture. Okay? Off center ho gaya, picture frame nahi kar raha hai. Picture will not, however beautiful, it's a Hussein painting also will look horrible.
That's true.
Similar to that, a earring does to your face. So what is let me explain to the viewers in a very simple manner.
Yes.
What is an ideal face shape? Oval. Okay? Now, assuming you have a round face, how can you wear tops which take your face horizontally? We need to move vertically.
Yeah.
So then you buy oval earrings. Someone so basically, wherever your face is at the highest point, that is where the earring should never end. So that means it goes away from the frame. Wherever your face is narrowed down, your bulge can go into that part, so it fits into a frame. Just this is, I think, a little bit technical. So they need to come to me for that. But I have just tried to give them some example
Yeah.
that how you need to pay a lot of attention, because if jewelry is an investment only if you can wear it from 20 to 60. No longer are days when people can say कि हम अपने बहू को pass on करेंगे, अपनी बेटी को pass on करेंगे, because they'll say no, we want new designs.
Yeah.
They are not going to wear what you is.
Wearing, yeah.
So I think it's very important that when you buy, put a lot of thought into that and buy it from someone who can advise you in the right manner to
Nice.
what actually works for you forever.
So, do you want to ask?
No, I was just going to conclude and say that in finance, you have financial advisors who give advice on how to manage your finances. I think we also need like a jewelry or a design advisor, because I feel like people only focus on the art. They forget the science, because jewelry is an investment.
Correct.
So having a jewelry advisor probably, like you were saying, is the need where the industry should head towards.
100%.
And you mentioned something about zones. Could you elaborate more for the audience on the zones of a body, which
Yeah.
is what will help user understand that?
Sure. So this is how you need to make yourself the showstopper and not just the jewelry. This will help you. We have 3 zones. So let's say the necklace or your mangtika all come in zone 1. Okay. Or let's say the face. Let's say the earring and the mangtika is zone 1. The zone 2 will be your necklace. Okay. And the zone 3 will be your bangles, assuming. These are your 3 zones when it comes to jewelry, because
Yep.
we don't go up to हम पायल तो पहनते नहीं है real
नहीं
में,
है,
because we have reasons behind that. Lakshmi है तो पैर में तो नहीं पहनते. So let's say if you are wearing a beautiful statement neck piece which is like really over the top,
Zone 2.
that's zone 2.
Yeah.
So finished. You are done with your main zone. Now you just need to see that there is proportions are played across, so that thing looks bare. So then you need to wear some tops or chota earring, like like not very big, like an inch, 2 inch, max 2 inch. Okay. But what a lot of people do, they wear a chunky neck piece and then they wear the earring, which is like there's no distance between the earring and the neck piece, and it just looks like a display of,
Yeah.
like it looks like a mannequin. This.
Christmas tree.
So it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, and imagine if something is like extra large onto the neck. So you take extra large only in one area.
Yeah.
Then in the other areas, you either take it medium or you take it small. Don't play with extra large, large, and large.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing. So I'm saying that just try to balance your area. Like you can have a small, medium, and an extra large as one combo.
Yeah.
You can have 2 medium and 1 light as one combo. So you need to see what works best. For example, if your necklace, if for example neck pieces look good on you, then you try to invest in good neck pieces.
Interesting.
But there are some people who look amazing in beautiful statement earrings.
Yeah.
Then you invest in your earring and your hands rather than on the neck.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what's going to enhance you, and then buying things on the basis.
Yeah.
Don't buy things कि अरे मेरा आज V cut है, my dress for my wedding is it's having a V shape,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I have to buy a necklace which is V
round.
shape or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
So I always tell people, put your effort into buying jewelry first, then buy clothes.
Clothes, yeah.
When you have a limited budget.
Yeah.
When your budget is no limit, then you buy your clothes first and then buy jewelry.
I think
But
that's a
when you
very
need to
important-
buy, but when you want to buy 30 lakhs below, please buy your jewelry first.
First, yeah.
And then buy
The clothes.
your clothes. Stones we can change on the basis of the wedding and change it to the color that enhances your personality later.
Yeah.
But please don't buy jewelry
Nice.
after buying clothes, because you will really go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And jewelry is forever.
yeah.
That's a very good
Like my
answer.
father says, diamonds are forever. I mean, they'll remain with you forever.
Yeah.
So why not put your thought and then buy things?
Interesting.
So let's do some exercise on skin tones and jewelry.
Yeah.
Before moving toward more comprehensive terms such as undertones, warm tones, and light tones, let's simplify it. Let's make it more simple. Someone who is fair skinned,
Yeah.
someone who is brown would be an Indian color, and someone who's dark. What
Yeah.
are the colors these three guys can or women can play with?
So somebody who is fair will look amazing in sapphires.
Nice.
My first color to her will be sapphires. Okay. So we are not that very fair. We can take pink kunzite. Pink
Kunzites are very in, I feel.
Yeah, they are in, but they don't work for Indians.
Oh, okay.
We still are not that. We don't have so much of. We still have a warm tone. Indians have a little warm. Even if you're fair, you'll have a warm tone to your veins,
Yeah.
or whatever. So then, blue sapphires or tanzanite works best. Amethyst, good for that woman. For the second category, which is like a mid tone, emeralds all the way. They look amazing in emeralds, especially if their personality is the neoclassic and the contemporary. They work wonders.
Nice.
If you are able to identify, look at Nita Ambani and Deepika. They'll always be in
Yeah.
emeralds.
Yeah,
See,
that's true.
because of their color tones.
Color
also.
tones, yes.
Color tone of Nita Ambani is fair,
Yeah.
but her personality is
Personality.
neoclassic.
Yeah.
And blue goes better with the Western personality. See, it's
Yeah.
like, it's all important to understand all this.
That's true.
I'm giving away all my knowledge.
I hope the viewers are soaking it all in.
And then, for somebody who is a little bit
Darker.
darker, I would not call darker, that's not a good word to use. Somebody who's dusky.
Yeah.
Yes, rubies they say, but I don't agree to only rubies. Sometimes even emeralds work well for these personality.
Okay.
Emeralds. Okay.
So again, or even yellow sapphires work well. Or sometimes colors don't work well. Then what I suggest to people, take two-tone color, like
Nice.
gold or white polish mix.
yeah.
Nice.
Don't buy only white.
Hmm.
Like if you are dusky, then only white diamonds don't look good. Then we need to see that we give them yellow and white gold mix.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people say rose gold, अरे but तुम्हारी skin tone में rose gold जाएगा ही नहीं.
Yeah.
So you have to not buy things just because it is in fashion or in vogue or a trend.
Yeah.
Jewelry is a lifelong investment. Please buy it which is timeless as per your personality and which suits your tone and your face.
Nice.
Interesting.
Now, moving towards a bit more complex terms, which are firstly, a bride to be this season wants to understand her undertone, if she's a warm tone, if she's a cool tone. Is there any way to understand that?
Oh, there is so much of education on the net. Everybody, I think they know before they come to us what they are.
Nice.
So I don't see that. They understand that very well with colors when it comes to clothes and all. They just need to believe that they need to put that much of attention when it comes to jewelry.
Okay.
That's all I am trying to. It's a humble request to every woman of India that they really need to put a thought when they buy jewelry, because jewelry is an investment only if you adorn it from 20 to 60.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is not an investment,
That's true.
you know.
So I want to continue. Majority of the brides face this issue of creating their jewelry as a showstopper, as you said, and not them as a showstopper. How can they not do this? And if there is any ways to understand these.
See, I think, when a person, everybody has a dream that I want to dress up like this. So I would, as a jewelry advisor, put in all with my love and passion, whatever. But finally, if that woman who wants to wear it her way, it's her day. And if she can carry with confidence and panache, I would say go ahead.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that I'm here to determine what you need to wear on your dream, because I think that everybody who's getting married, every bride knows that, this is the way I need to. But yes, if they are looking at getting advice or needing something, I'm always there available. They
Nice.
can contact me anytime. To me, that is something which is a service which I would want to give back to the society and also to the industry as an odontologist. So I think that That's important, but I would not impose my views onto anybody. But I would give my advice. You take it or leave it. That is something I would end it at.
As I mentioned before, jewelry is to express yourself, the way you feel the jewelry is on you. So, moving on, do you have?
It was not on this topic, so if you have more on this topic,
I do have a lot of to help for the brides.
Okay.
I'm someone who wants to help the brides out there and give them the knowledge. You on the panel, brides who are getting married, how can they have the proper proportion and manage of body shapes and jewelry? If you can, a simple guide, a small quick guide for that.
Can you repeat this?
Body shapes
Yeah.
and jewelry. How can they accent it together, or the structure or the geometry? How
I'll
would
just
you?
give you a little bit idea. So, like, for example, someone who is below 5 4 feet, for example. Now, for such a woman, it is very, very important that we give a little bit of a length. So, as I told you, the downward movement of neck pieces
Yes.
will work better with such a bride. So then again, she needs to see that her neckline also is something which matches those lengths. Again, someone who's broad-shouldered cannot wear something like a solitaire string because it just does not work onto her personality. At that point of time, her necklaces need to be broad like that a little bit. I would not say Egyptian because if she is having a very nice neck only then she could go in for the Egyptian style. But if she is little broad and she is a little bit on the heavier side, then obviously her broadness has to be controlled.
Yes.
It has to be it has to be tapering when it goes towards the backwards. Like the first 4 inches can be broad, but then it has to be narrowed. So
narrowed.
basically like a broad V.
Yeah.
So I think that for that person a broad V would look better than going in for a little length.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that a lot of things are.
What about someone who is skinnier on the skinnier side and on the lighter or not really broad and very
somebody who is very delicate looking?
yeah.
I would try to give her a solitaire string sort of a thing.
Beautiful.
Because somebody who's or I would give her a choker which is not very broad, like a 2 inches
Nice.
broad. She would look amazing in that because she has such a slender neck. Why not show her assets?
That's true.
yeah.
Okay, and then, but again, somebody who is somebody who is thin, but she is a showstopper woman. She can go all out.
Yeah.
So somebody who is like could be slim, but she
Yeah.
is or vice versa. But she is like someone who has a confidence because confidence can take away all your negativity and your weakness.
That's true.
Because the moment you're confident, your personality is just like
Yes, that's true.
then to that person is like the hero. There's no worry about
Yeah.
that. So I think that it all depends on whether you have the confidence to carry that also besides your body shape.
True.
Let's talk about what you're wearing. I love the earrings.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about how you matched your outfit with whatever you're wearing in terms of
Can
your
you see
accessories?
the ring as well?
So this is my father. When my mom passed away, this was a most priceless possession. And I still remember
Nice.
I think it was 1 year after she passed away. And on Raksha Bandhan Day, he gave a covered box to me, and I said, "Why is my dad giving me something for Raksha Bandhan?" And when I opened it, I said, like it was like, oh God, why? How come to me? Like because usually लगता है कि लड़के लोग को ही मिलेगा सब कुछ, लड़की लोग. So daddy said, "I'm giving it to you," and I felt on top of the world. Because my mother wore this the most and she loved it.
Love that.
And when I wear it and when I go for important seminars or something, I don't only go on the clothes. Then I go, okay, my mom is with me. And I always try to see that I wear this on important days. According to my father, I should wear it every day. I'm not a don. I'm not going to wear this every day. But today I wore this actually. Yes, of course it does. Yes, I do take care that I wear an outfit that matches the neck
That's true.
piece. So let's say today what I have worn is a V-neck. Now
Yeah.
imagine if I come with a neck piece. It would not work.
Yeah.
I could have worn a long chandelier, but today what am I come here for? For talking.
Yeah.
I'm a guest speaker. I don't want to take away that attention by wearing something which is a lot of movement
Yeah.
or something which is long. So I needed to see that I still look refined. I still look luxurious because I am into luxury jewelry, and I still have my mother with me.
Yeah.
So putting all, and it goes with my neckline.
Yeah.
So that's why I put all this together and then wore this.
Nice.
Lovely.
That's amazing. So, to the other side, if you were in other, where would you wear something with more tassel and something with more elongated earrings? What occasion would that be?
Obviously, if it were having a movement, then I would love wearing it with my outfits, which, let's say if I'm wearing a gown, and my gown is more simplistic for the 99% who are not Ranveer Singh. This is most for those people who need to
Nice.
understand.
Okay. Do you want to ask more?
1 second. I think you're working,
I
rolling.
think
Are you
So,
are you enjoying this so far?
yeah,
Tanvi?
I hope you all will enjoy it.
yeah.
She's going to do a lot of your questions, so that's why she's
I-
listening to you attentively.
If you give me the mic, I can speak for 5 hours about jewelry. So don't worry about
Let's get back to the game,
Huh.
and I'm gonna play a game called Made in India.
that. Okay.
You have had a good amount of time globally and in India with jewelry and designs. I'm pretty much opting for her. So I'm going to show you two designs. One is made in India and one is made globally. So the one you have to guess which one is made in India. Okay. So I'm going to start simple, and this is the first design. Which one do you think is made in India? And also you have to reason behind it.
This is made globally and this is made in India.
And how did you take just a second to think about that? What gave
To
you the
me,
cue?
To me, am I right? First
Yeah,
of all,
you're right. That's point one.
first of
by
all,
the
I
way.
don't see any sense in the right design only. I don't see where that motive is come from. Aesthetics, when it comes to perfection, is achieved not when you don't know what to add, but when you don't know what to remove. That's aesthetics.
That's true.
This piece over here to me should have been. It does not make sense. To me. It's just put tuck. It's like a copy paste.
Yeah.
This goes with the flow. International designer will never go which is not with the flow. Very important.
Interesting.
I
You want
just-
to show the audience which one she said? So it's easy.
That was the correct answer. It'll come on the screen. You don't have to worry. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try find something more
Do you
difficult.
want me to do it?
Difficult.
I'll do it. One then I'll do it. Okay,
मैं बोल रहा हूँ उनको. Shan, show her. She doesn't know which design you're
I'm
talking
showing it
doesn't know.
there.
about. She saw saying.
I'm showing it there. वहाँ आपको दिखेगा. So the next one is this or that, and which one do you think is made in India, and which one is global?
Global India.
And how did you recognize that?
The color combination here, it does not work at
in
all.
international.
It's not in the color wheel. So the color wheel of the oval with this color of green just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the aesthetics again. Coming back to aesthetics. Aesthetics is very, very important.
Nice.
This then becomes very local and not global.
Yeah.
So this aesthetic is missing point one. I mean, if you say from one go, what I found was
There's
the
the
color.
flow.
It's not complementing. The
Nice.
coral is not complementing
The
the green shade that has been
I
used.
think you can ask.
I think before you ask that, I have a question on this.
Oh, sorry. कौन आगे आ रहा है?
नहीं, नहीं.
मेरा
क्या बोल
बराबर.
रहे हो?
Okay.
So you just ask the question. You don't need to
Oh, you
answer.
ask the
Just question
question.
again.
Okay.
So you just go back to that one. Ask her
The
which
question.
one.
He
Yeah.
got
Acha.
my answer. He didn't get the question, I
Question.
think.
So which one is made in India and which one is made globally?
Bus.
Yes.
ठीक.
Okay.
So I think I have since you have traveled the world quite a lot and you have lived in Middle East, you have traveled in other parts of the world, and I could sense from your answer also that you could relate to what's the taste appreciated in the Western market. Do you want to talk about things of what is it in the Western, probably in the European and the American market in terms of design, size, color that they appreciate, while which is slightly different than the Indian market?
See, in the international market, I'm not looking at the UAE, okay? I'm looking not at the Asia. I'm looking at
Europe and-
Europe and America.
Yeah.
Definitely, they will not, except for the people in LA, Rodo Drive, not
Yeah.
even LA, I would say Rodo Drive. Like, they are not going to wear statement pieces because they don't have those occasions, and neither they have those attires which go with the sensibility of that statement
Yeah.
jewelry. So they will take up to a certain this, and they don't believe in. For them, jewelry still is a piece of art.
Yeah.
Solitaires could be an investment, but jewelry still is a piece of art. So they're an artist. So definitely they will see to it that the jewelry is not beyond a particular volume.
Yeah.
Most of the major people. But again, when you go to people like Lebanon, or you go to Arabic, or you go to Pakistani or India, our culture is such.
Yeah.
Investment, yeah.
Our bodies are such. Our attires are such.
Nice.
So we will always be investing in pieces which are statement or showstopper and all, because we have those occasions to wear. So we get that part of it.
Yeah.
We have the body to carry, and our clothes complement that jewelry.
Yeah.
So it all depends on various factors from where you're born, everything. It's there are a lot of multiple things also that goes into jewelry. And now with the prices being so high, it's going to be more of importance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go to Far East, which is Japan, South Korea, China, those regions, what do you notice there?
Now their bodies, first of all, they're so short. They're so delicate.
Yeah.
Now imagine you give them these big dragons and all to wear
Yeah.
on their hands. They may wear or have those dragon, lamps or whatever, but they are not going to wear that. It just doesn't work on their personality. At the most, if they want to do a dragon, they'll make a small ring of a dragon.
Yeah.
But they will not carry a dragon bracelet or something.
Yeah.
Because abroad, as I told you, people are still not buying jewelry as a commodity. It's only in India that people buy jewelry as a commodity.
Yeah.
So they know that it doesn't work according to their personality, so they will never want to buy.
Yeah.
Very few people, as I told you, who are confident to carry that. For them, the world is their oyster.
Yeah.
So they will buy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because they have that personality.
Yeah.
But that how many people? Not even 0.01% of that.
Yeah. One question from, I think before I ask this question, whenever you smile, it reminds Suraj and you have a very similar smile.
That is so true.
Yeah, I was like, when you smile, the flashback of
Yeah,
us
because you were
interviewing-
sitting right here a year ago.
Yeah.
not just here.
No,
6
I think 6 months ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Good.
So-
Some similarity we both have.
I think the love towards jewelry as well.
आपने किया ना
Yeah,
सूरज
I
को
think-
like same face उनका smile.
Yeah.
So she does all the questions and
Oh,
everything.
and my
from-
elder brother, so he looks same like me only.
So we'll have the conversation later about this, okay?
So let's go to the last question on this or that. These two pieces, sorry, I'll first ask the question. So these two pieces, which one do you think is done by an Indian jeweler, and which one is done from an international one?
From here I know, but yet I'll see it in front. This is copied from an international, but he has put Indianness in the locket.
What do you mean by Indianness in the locket?
The locket, जो locket की motive है.
Okay.
So this part of this has been copied from Shinner.
Do you want to show the audience what you're talking
Yeah.
about, sir?
So this is international, but
Okay.
they have put that Indianness into this locket.
Nice.
Interesting.
That's the right answer.
Yeah,
And
that's what he's done. And that is, honestly, this is an international, but I would still say the person who's done is a Hong Kong based person, maybe.
So there is Karishma and Shania. Who do you think did it better?
Shania Kapoor, though, this necklace she cannot even think of wearing because her personality is she's young. She's
Yes.
not overly matured.
Nice.
She needed playfulness in her jewelry. She cannot take classic pieces which gives that seriousness into the jewelry. It makes her look more matured, 10 years to 15 years more than her age. She's slim. Why would she take line jewelry? She has a slender neck. Take chokers, something which is like more delicate. Her entire features are still on the delicate side rather than the broad build. So that means no for this for sure. And she can never take such big stones. where the personality is not something.
Yeah.
At the same time, on this neckline, this neck piece cannot go only. This style cannot go. Even if it's a downward movement, it has to be a different shape. It can't be this. It has to be a sweetheart neck shape. It can't be this shape.
Nice.
Now going to Karishma Tanna, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, today what I have realized is all brides want to look moga, royals. I mean, that has become the trend
Trend.
of
Yeah.
people. So they don't. So just because with the attire they wear, they want to make that feel of Maharani and royalty.
Yeah.
So that's why most of the people. So it doesn't look bad.
That's true.
I would say that fine. I would say nothing wrong, nothing great. Where I say, wow, she's the showstopper of the evening. She, to me, if the Mangtika was not there, she would look like another guest in the bride.
Yeah.
In the list. So when a bride wears something besides a Mangtika, what else could make that? Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
has put some thought into her jewelry. So if I assuming this was not there, then I would see that she's attending somebody's wedding,
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
That's true.
But nothing wrong
Yeah.
in her, but this is absolutely wrong. It's just making her look 20 years older than her age.
Yeah. So if you had to change something towards Karishma's style from
But her style or from Shanaya's style?
Karishma on the left
Yeah.
side, what would you do it in your own manner?
I would stay away from the choker.
Okay.
I would try to do a choker come necklace and not a choker.
Okay.
So like I would never start her neck from here because she has a little bit heavy jawline. Like
Yeah.
her features are little harsh below the
Yeah.
Neck.
nose.
About the nose. Okay.
Face,
Like
yeah.
for example, like I will
Yeah.
never look good in a choker.
Okay.
We have very strong features.
Hmm.
The moment you have very strong features, then you should wear choker come necklace because you do feel like wearing sometime. But
Nice.
you should not wear chokers.
Okay.
So I would see to it that there's no stiffness coming onto the upper.
Okay.
I would try to take a necklace a little choker come necklace a little down.
Down, yeah.
So the gap between the necklace, the long necklace and the choker could have reduced,
Reduced.
and not yet choked her from where this is. So her
Yeah.
neck should not look shorter than what it is.
Nice.
So that's what I would have done.
Nice.
One thing for sure, I would have done that.
Interesting.
Before ending this, I'm just going to ask you a very basic question. What are your views on mixing metals in terms of colors, rose gold, white gold, and yellow gold? Do you think someone can pull it off, or
No, yeah,
they
of
should stay
course.
away?
I think I always told you that if you can pull it up as your personality, do it. You can mix all three, you can mix two, there's no problem in it. But the biggest mistake people are doing, which I want to not warn, in fact, inform viewers, because आज rose polish fashion में है, a lot of people on, like in yellow gold, you can put rhodium.
Yeah.
But in yellow gold, if you put rose gold polish, it will become black.
Yeah. Spoil the gold.
For rose gold, you need to have an alloy of
Alloy.
rose gold.
Yeah.
So if you are buying something in rose gold, then you cannot
Go
change
for
the
this
polish.
thing, yeah.
That's what you need to take care of. So if you're sure that you want to maintain it as rose polish, then you please buy jewelry with rose gold alloy and not rose polish.
Polish. Yeah.
एंड फिर वो बोले कि अरे वो ज्वेलर ने चीट कर दिया, काला हो गया. काला नहीं हो गया, वो कर ही नहीं सकते आप.
True.
So that's something which people should be aware of.
So, guys, Varuna is talking about what we discussed about this, about alloys in metals versus polishing in yellow gold. At the end, it will always wash away and spoil your gold. Always spend a bit more money. Go for the alloys. It will be for the longer term and also complement the whole time and never tarnish. So I think that was an amazing conversation, Varuna. Great inputs for our viewers. I think they have soaked it all in, and they will be more mindful towards their styling themselves and how they are. And if you do need to get in touch, you have the expert here, and you want to close it?
I think it was lovely to have you.
Thank you very much for having me here and
Yes.
giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge.
Yes.
And the mixing metal question was for personal reasons.
Okay.
I was mixing a lot of metal today, so I was just thinking if I should or not. So that's
Yeah.
the reason I
But
ended
your
with that.
personality, sir, you can mix anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
audience.
so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Varuna.
very
Thank
much.
you for this
Thank you.
podcast.